bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes, facts,
boots,
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, Dogwelder.
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm your host, Zach, joined by the Robin to my Batman because I'm too lazy to think of anything more creative, Mr. Mike.
Hey, guys. it's your ward boy, Robin.
Oh, I guess I should have specified. Yeah. No, you're Jason Todd. You're the second one who's a little bit more main. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, it's Jason, guys.
Today's episode is a doozy. And it has
you've been hanging this one over my head for a little bit.
I have been, because at first when I discovered it, I thought, oh, come on, this can't be real. And then I saw it only last a couple issues, and I was like, oh, that explains why. But no, he's brought back. There's a lot more to get into, and it's kind of a twofer because we are going to do Dogwelder.
Hey, kids, it's a twofer.
It's a twofer because Dogwelder is also a part of a superhero group, a terrible superhero group who never really does much crime fighting wise, but called Section 8.
So he's a hero.
He's a hero.
You know, when you say Dogwelder to me, I assume bad guy.
You should.
Yeah. Well, because he's welding dogs.
After I explain exactly. This is very weird, but all you have to do is look a little bit down. Created by Garth Ennis and John McCrea, so you should know
the boys.
Exactly, the boys. Preacher,
asshole face.
Yep, he did Hellraiser with John Constantine, who has a little part in this later. So
what?
Yeah,
has a part in the comic.
He has a part. He's in the Dogwelder comic. John Constantine.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So. If you're familiar with Garth Ennis at all, then there's a lot of this stuff that will not shock you at all.
Okay.
We've talked about it before, Mike. We both watched The Boys.
Yes.
And there's something in The Boys. Oh, it's great. It's my favorite superhero show.
Yeah. You know, the thing I like the most about The Boys is that Zack Snyder is not involved. That's going to be a thing from now on. I'm just going to have to bring it up.
But you know what? We're going to bash on Zack Snyder so much, and then one day he's going to be nice enough to join on, and we're just going to have nothing to say to him.
I'm going to say these same things to his face. Yeah. We're going to have to do a FaceTime so that I can actually see him. Listen, Zach, what's up?
That's what we do.
What's going on with you?
We're gonna plan this right now. Whenever we have Zack Snyder as a guest, I'm just going to break down one of his films.
Sure. I think it'd be great.
That's all we'll do here. And then be like, defend yourself.
Yeah. Granted. Yeah. And one of his, like let's do one of his good films, but like we're on the wrong side of it. 300 sucks. More like 150.
Oh, man. All right. So we got our Zack Snyder diss out of the way for the episode. Let's go ahead and dive right into
This has been Zack Snyder Sucks Corner.
There are two different versions of the character.
Okay.
And we are going to cover both of them. There's actually a lot more, as we'll get into, of incarnations of this character. We'll explain why. They first appeared in a series that Garth Ennis and I think John McCrea both worked on back in 1997 called Hitman.
So this is a relatively recent character.
It's a relatively recent character. Okay. It's his first appearances in 1997. Yeah. Hitman's about Tommy Morrison. It's a completely different storyline, but they appear in 2 episodes of it.
Tommy Morrison, who's that?
Tommy, I think it's also the name of a boxer at one point in time.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. Is he the one that was he in Rocky? Did he fight Rocky in like Rocky 5 or something?
That's
is that
Tommy
Machine
Morrison.
Gun, whatever his name?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All
Who had like
Tommy Hitman, no, Tommy Gun.
Yes, that's what it was.
Tommy
and
Gun.
I think they did a 30 for 30 on him. I think,
He's dead, isn't he?
I think so.
I think he died, yeah.
But that may be where Tommy Morrison sounds familiar from. But
Rocky punched him too hard.
So in that comic, I'll just go ahead and explain the first appearance first. And that's just going to be a little weird, but then we're going to get on to the insanity. This is in the Hitman thing. This is in the Hitman back in 1997.
All right, cool.
So basically, Dogwelder is a member of Section 8, which is a superhero team.
I like the name.
Yeah, it's
Section 8's a great name for a superhero weird team.
And they're definitely all that, and we will get into all of Section 8 here in a little bit. But basically, Dogwelder is just our Dogwelder, not Wilder, because that makes it sound like he just...
I just throw dogs at people.
He's more than likely, we don't know too much about him when we see him.
Yeah.
The leader of Section 8 is a guy by the name of Six Pack. And Six Pack is going to find Dogwelder and comes across him in a dark alley.
Okay.
And just out of instinct, Dogwelder, we haven't really explained what Dogwelder's powers are.
Yeah.
He welds dogs to people's faces.
Sure. Okay.
Dogwelder.
That's
very self-explanatory.
It is very self-explanatory. I don't understand.
Not live dogs either.
Oh, so it's like metal dogs that he puts on
it's just dead
faces?
dogs.
Wait, so dead actual dogs that he welds to people's faces. How do you spot weld a living thing to another living thing?
Well, it's dead. That's why it's a dead dog.
But again, try welding something to me. Come on, try it right now.
Well, I guess he possesses some, but he has like a backpack that has gas tank. I mean,
sure.
I don't have my welding kit on me or I'd try it. But so he has like a backpack with the gas tanks and it's like a handheld welder and he always wears a welder's mask. That is his gimmick.
Okay. And so once he welds these dogs to people's faces, do they continue to live?
In some instances, yes.
With just a big flapping dead dog on their face.
Scar on their face, yeah, from where they had to remove the dog.
So if there's a dog welder and he welds dead dogs to someone's face, is there a vet out there that has to take these dogs off of people's faces?
I guess, or maybe a doctor. I don't,
because
they never specify where they go to have them removed.
I would think that's a really good like offshoot of this character, right? And then it's Bob the vet or whatever that takes the dogs off of people's faces.
Maybe somebody there in the DC universe is making a lucrative living.
Oh, this is DC.
This is DC.
Never mind. It all makes sense.
So yeah, he basically just lives in an alley. He sets traps for stray animals and has a supply of dead dogs. We don't know where they come from.
He's got a supply of dead dogs. That's cool.
Yeah, supply of dead dogs. Don't know where. It's never.
Does he just drag around a bag or what?
No, you don't see that. He just pulls out a dog.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So
yeah, I'm with you.
This is the first dog welder, and this is just going to be quick. The second dog welder is where all the good stuff happens. The first dog welder perishes in Section 8's final battle, which is just the second issue of Hitman that they're in.
Okay.
They're only in 2 issues of the 60-issue story.
Wow. So, nice.
He's vaporized by, I put acidic demon rays because I didn't know what else to describe it as.
So they're just these rays. Who are they fighting?
A group. They are called the Many-Angled Ones. It's super. I'm telling you, I read all this and it's just super confusing. So to put it the easiest way, they're fighting demons.
Sure.
This storyline has to do with
because demons are known
Tommy
for their
Morrison
geometry.
Has to like go to hell, and this is it's 90s DC. Gotcha. In 90s DC, there were a lot of stories. Etrigan, the demons in it, which
Etrigan.
Is yeah. Did I mispronounce it?
I don't know who the hell any of these people
are.
Okay,
well that's what makes this better. But the 90s, it seemed like DC was going for a. Hey, we're gonna include like
Hellraiser,
heaven,
weird kind of heaven and hell versus.
To me, and this is just purely my opinion. I think that once Spawn kicked off and Spawn was actually good and big, everybody else was kind of like, oh,
yeah, they're like, oh,
we can do more stuff like that
too. We've been missing all this demon stuff. Yeah. So
the
comic book industry is a very fickle industry, much like the NFL or NBA.
Oh yeah.
If somebody starts something new and it's successful, everybody goes, "Oh yeah, we've been doing it that way for years."
It's the same also with baseball. If you've watched Moneyball, like everybody was, Billy Bean's doing great stuff, and then everybody used sabermetrics after that. So
Billy Bean, I loved his 10 episode series on DC. That was good.
Yeah, no, it was really
Billy
good.
Bean.
He had the power to throw beans at people.
Cat wielder.
So. Dog welder's dead. It just melts him down to a skeleton.
Sure.
That's the first dog welder. Funny enough, I found that.
That's how I want to go.
Wizard Magazine just melted
down to a skeleton.
By acidic demon rays?
That'd be great.
It seems like it was very quick. So that's at least a
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's very quick.
Yep.
People will remember it.
Yep.
What do I care at that point?
Oh, I mean, yeah. No, nobody will forget your death.
Why didn't the acidic demon rays melt his skeleton, though? That would be my question. Like, why does it always do the innards and the skin?
I think, maybe, because if it was just to nothing, like, maybe that scene, it's like, oh, it's a more powerful cell just seeing a skeleton.
Yeah.
I mean, just trying to think.
It's the same thing when you get electrocuted. Everybody sees your skeleton.
Yeah.
Okay.
And your hair shoots up really big and you flicker between, like, your skin becomes translucent.
Yeah, that kind of,
Wizard Magazine declared Dogwelder the best new character of the year in 1997.
Tell me about Wizard Magazine. Is that
a magazine?
Why are we taking anything from Wizard magazine?
Well, I just found it was on the, it's basically a magazine of comics.
Okay.
This is where it gets fun. I have to give you the first one so you know there is a first one.
Okay.
Now, let's fast forward from 1997 to 2011.
Okay.
Garth Ennis decides, hey, with everything revamping, because this is around the time that like the New 52 and everything, where DC decided to
reboot everybody's everything. Sure. Yep.
Which is there's been, and they've done rebirth since then too. There's already been multiple resets since the reset, which is ridiculous.
Sure.
But so Garth Ennis gets the chance to do a whole Section 8 comic. What we find in there is we find Dogwelder's origin story.
Nice.
Or this version of Dogwelder's origin story.
So there's only 2 versions though, right?
There's only 2 versions in the comics, but we will find out there are a lot more Dogwelders.
Oh no. All right.
This is a long ridiculous story here.
Let's do it.
But so our first Dogwelder, how we know it's 2 different Dogwelders. The first one, they're both small, lanky guys.
Okay.
Our first Dogwelder was Caucasian. Our second Dogwelder is African American.
Okay.
So
and I see that he's a seemingly average businessman.
Yes.
Okay.
It just opens up in one of the comics here. The Dogwelder specific part is he's at an antique store is the best way to describe it. And he's just looking around everything.
Sorry, I read ahead a bit.
Oh, that's fine.
Go ahead.
So he's just looking through this antique store and he finds the original Dogwelders, the one we just covered, mask and backpack.
Because once again, those ancient demon lasers didn't get that stuff either.
No.
Yeah. And it's in an antique store.
It's in an antique store. Dude doesn't remember where he got it from. He thinks it's cool, puts it on.
I can tell him where he got it from. He got it from that pile of skeleton bones over there. That's where he got it from.
But it's very much like The Mask.
Sure.
And so,
welding mask.
Yeah, but I mean like the movie
the
Mask.
The Mask, well, it was a comic, right? It
was a comic before that, yeah.
Yeah.
But where it like melts.
Onto your face and you become that thing.
Exactly same way with Dogwelder.
All right. Yeah,
so we don't know his name, anything. We just know he is now the new Dogwelder.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So we know nothing about him.
I actually like that.
Dogwelder.
Yeah. That this is just this mysterious everyday man.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden,
he runs out of the shop now as Dogwelder.
Uh-huh.
Guys yelling at him to pay and stuff like that. No, and he just sees a woman walking her little toy dog.
Uh-huh.
And is immediately just like convinced, goes to and welds the dog to her face. First thing out of the store, welds the dog to the old woman's face.
Yeah, that's great.
We also find out.
Maybe he's just making sure he's still got it, you know?
Yeah, actually, let me save that little part till the end, but he welds her to her face. So let's talk about the new Section 8. I told you we were going to get here.
I saw that part that you're putting off.
Fine. We'll get to it now. It's later at the end of this, we'll save the middle for Section 8. At the end of the series, of the Section 8 series, we find out he has a wife and kids, right?
Sure.
And the wife and kids, like Section 8 hangs out at a bar.
Okay.
It's called Noonan's.
All right.
And the bar is ran.
Because that matters.
I guess.
Noonan's.
The bar is ran by Bader, who is the demon lord of criminal insanity.
Bader. Is that the same character from Cars?
No, that's Mater.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've confused those two.
Who is the demon lord of towing things. So,
okay.
So he's sitting there at Noonan's and he's just watching the news.
Sure.
Dogwelder, and he sees what we figure out to be his wife and kids.
He's still for a moment. He's not. There's no dogs.
There's no dogs.
Sure.
He just hangs out at the bar. There's nothing needs to be welded.
Yeah.
And his wife and kids come on TV and they make a plea about, we're just trying to find my husband.
So like local news kind of thing. Yeah. My husband's missing. The kids are crying.
Yeah. It's like, if you know anything, like, please call us or email us. Like they set up an email for it. He can't talk.
Okay.
So I'm assuming he emails them. I mean, that's the only way, because he doesn't talk.
How do you mind? I mean, I guess he's got a computer somewhere, or is he using the bar's computer?
It doesn't specify.
Does he mime it to him? Like, I want to
somehow he gets a message to his family.
Okay.
It's not explained. I like to think that he's like,
maybe he welds a message to a dog and sends it to him or something.
You're getting ahead of yourself a little bit.
Oh, am I? I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
Not really. He just welds letters into dogs and just sends them out. Sure. There's 37 dogs here, but I think it spells a message letter at a time. If one of the dogs arrives early, though, you're screwed at figuring out the rest of the message.
I can use this dog 3 times because he's got the letter A on him.
So he reaches out to his family, and they show up at the bar, and they're so happy to find him. He makes them
meet him at the bar?
They meet him at the bar. And the family is so happy.
Sure.
You know, oh, I'm so great to see you. So great. You're all right.
And Daddy, he took it well. Daddy, and he takes the mask off, and everything's great.
Please go home. They're begging for him to take the mask off.
Right.
We've all missed you.
Yeah.
And then the son reaches in and pulls out, and he goes, I think I'm making up a name, but even Scrappers.
Scrappers.
And it's the family dog. And all you see.
Hey, guys, hang on one second. There's about to be a welding of a dog. If that triggers you, please turn this off for a second.
All you see is it shows his face, and the art's really great on this. It shows the welding mask, and you just see like the horror of the family's look in the welding mask, and you just see the welder on.
Oh man, come on.
And then the other ones in the bar watching him going, uh-oh, that's not good.
And he welded the dog.
He welded the dog to the kids' faces.
Sure. This guy's.
It's not shown.
I want to go back to when we started this episode. You said he was a hero.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there's only one thing in all of this that makes him a hero.
Okay. All right.
So he has now welded the family dog to his own kids. And in his solo story later, it is brought up, and it shows the kids. His wife is remarried. She has found another man who is very sweet and very nice.
Please say the dog is still on their face.
No, but they have scars on their face from where they took the dogs
in
off.
the shape of a dog.
Well, it's not even a shape of, but
it's like a cartoon when you run through the wall. You know, it makes that shape of you. It's half a dog on one kid and half a dog on the other.
Well,
kid.
here's the terrible part. It was one dog, and there's scars on opposite sides of their faces. So that means that the dog was welded between the two of them.
Oh, wow. Well, he was thinking ahead. You know, at least they can see still.
But yeah, so we do know that he did weld the dog to his kids. So this is a weird guy that we're getting into. We will get over get to the point that's his hero part of the story here.
Sure.
But before we do that, Mike, I have to tell you a little bit about Section 8.
Yeah, please. Come on.
As I was reading through this, I was like, there's not a lot for me to make everybody into an episode, even though it was worth it. So I'm going to do it all in this one.
Okay.
So I told you Six Pack's the team leader.
Yeah.
His special ability, basically he's a disgusting drunk.
Oh.
And he'll beat villains with like broken bottles.
Uncle Six Pack.
He throws up all the time. He has like
wonderful
alcoholic like visions that he thinks are real that aren't.
Yeah. Hallucinations.
He's the leader.
Right.
Yeah. So Six Pack is an alcoholic. He's the leader.
Six Pack, can you sign for this package? Sure, he's the leader.
Bueno Excelente.
Bueno Excelente.
He is a obese, constantly sweaty man. In an overcoat and a Speedo.
Come on.
And do you see what I have there? That's the best way.
Defeats evil with the power of perversion.
He is a pervert from the word go. He's constantly in the scenes. Like you just see him like in the background, creepy smiling. And it's always, he can only say either bueno or excelente.
Oh, wonderful. Those
are the only two words he speaks. It's given, there are so many backstories with him. He's just a creepy guy to begin with.
Obese, sweaty man in an overcoat.
He may or may not have, it is brought up in a story, date raped a Green Lantern too. So, and he has a he has a career as a porn star.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's Ron Jeremy.
Basically, except creepier, sweatier, and can only say 2 words and laughs all the time. There's the I can never pronounce that. Go ahead and do that for me, Mike.
Defensestrator?
Yes.
Defensestrator.
Which we talked about.
Defensestrator.
The Defensestrator. He's a giant man. That. He's basically done up to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it's a play on the Terminator.
Yeah, the Defensestrator.
Except Defensestrator is throwing somebody out of a window. So he carries around a window with him.
Wait a minute. What? He carries a window.
He carries a window with him.
But he's throwing people through windows.
Well, he has it, and he'll like hold the window and throw them through it.
Throw them through that
or
window.
Or he will take it and put them through it.
So he's got
all the way.
He's got to get a different window all the time.
Yes.
He goes through so many windows.
He goes through so many windows, or he just uses the same one, and I guess it counts. He accidentally throws cops in there too.
It's time to repaint my window.
Yes. And so he just smashes. That's what he does.
Wow.
You would think a guy his size, big and burly, would do. No, he just smashes people with windows, including police officers. That's what gets him locked up in Arkham Asylum eventually.
Wait, you say here at the end that his appearance, name, and death are direct parodies of Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in Terminator 2. So how does he die?
The same way as...
He goes down in the molten lava with the thumbs up?
Is that the second one?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I believe so.
I'll have to double check that. I think he says I'll be back. It's his last words are a parody.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Then there's my favorite, Friendly Fire.
Friendly Fire.
Who's a big, strapping man, right?
Uh-huh.
But he's very hapless.
Okay.
He's the only one that looks more like a superhero. He's dressed in like an all red, cowl and just suit. But
he shoots the wrong people.
He would be the strongest member of the team if he could shoot anything else except for allies.
So why would you keep a guy around who keeps shooting you?
That's part of it too, is he doesn't want to be a part of the team anymore because he thinks they're all pathetic. And Six Pack somehow keeps talking him back into it.
Okay.
He
Six Pack.
He dies. I'm trying to remember because they have a new team.
Shoots
I think
himself.
Friendly Fire dies. Trying really hard to shoot somebody. No, he kills. We'll get there. Never mind. I haven't even introduced somebody he kills.
Okay, great.
We have Jean de Baton. It's not Baton shouldn't be there twice. I don't know why I did
Jean
that.
de Baton.
Jean de Baton.
I like how you got it. Jean de Baton.
Yeah. He basically his power is the power of Frenchness.
Sure.
He beats people with baguettes. He's just
God, I
a
was
French.
hoping that was coming.
A French caricature, really, in general. It's kind of like Frenchie from The Boys.
Oui, bon bon.
Yeah. It's Frenchie from The Boys, except they make fun of his Frenchness
The
more.
power of Frenchness.
Next, we have Flimgim or Flimjim.
Flimjim.
However you want to do it. He is basically just a dude in a green suit and like a purple domino mask.
Yeah.
And he just has the ability to expel large volumes of phlegm.
This is a wonderful team so far. Wonderful.
He can use that to blind or suffocate or just simply disgust people he's going against.
Some okay. Hack poo. And some of them become blind, right? He blinds them. Some of them suffocate from this large amount of phlegm. They
can't breathe, yep.
And some of them just go, ew.
Is that
what you're saying?
Yes. Yes. And here's the thing of it, too, is a lot of these characters are brought up in just one-offs in other places, like their deaths and stuff like this.
Right.
Like, I read the whole 6-issue, rebranch of Section 8. And this team I'm telling you about, 3 of them are already dead by the time the comic starts.
Wait, you say 6 episode? Six issue of something called Section 8.
Of Section 8. They did a specific Section 8 story.
Yeah, you need 2 more issues.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, and they don't have 8 to be a full Section 8. But Shakes is the last guy.
Shakes.
Who's basically, he stutters and he has like a palsy type shake and he's just unkempt. He's basically just kind of like...
Says he gets shot by friendly fire a lot.
He does. And I think friendly fire ends up killing him. But trying really hard to hit an enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Now, that's the original Section 8.
Okay.
That's not the Section 8 we get. I had to at least explain what started out as a team. Because the new Dogwelder... Dogwelder was a part of the original Section 8 that we talked about. He's also part of the new Section 8.
Okay.
I told you about Bader, who runs the bar.
Yeah, Demon Lord of Criminal Insanity and caretaker of Noonan's Bar. Okay.
There's
Demon Lord of Criminal Insanity.
Bueno Excelente comes back.
Okay, great.
So the only ones...
I've missed him.
Yep. There's a guy called the Grappler, where he says his name. He's just dressed up in like a white suit, and all he does is has a grappling gun.
Okay. Yeah, let me explain his name. TheGrapplah! Exclamation point.
Yes. And everything he's
Grappler.
He's like, because I'm the Grappler.
I'm the Grappler.
He we don't have anything else with him in there, so I'll just go ahead and tell you right now. He dies in this 6.
Okay, good.
The way he dies, Mike.
Yeah.
So they're always hanging out at the bar.
Okay.
I guess there's a guy named Power Tool who's basically just looks like he's dressed up like a SWAT team member, but like the welding shield mask, the clear one?
Yeah.
He has a drill attached to it.
Oh, sure.
Over his face.
Yeah, he's a drill face.
And then there's Guts, which is honestly just a pile of guts.
An ambulatory and female mass of internal organs arranged in a vaguely humanoid shape.
Guts is married to Bueno Excelente. I told you this one was going to be weird.
He gets all up in them guts.
Dude. All right, so this Section 8 comic series, the 6-issue one, is basically Six Packs just trying to find actual heroes to join the team.
Right.
Because this is a team we have: Bader, Dogwelder, Six Pack, Grappler, Power Tools, and Guts.
Right.
And there's one where he tries to convince Batman to join, but while he's talking to Batman, the Gotham police write Batman a parking ticket. And Batman is more concerned about the parking ticket than joining him.
DC, you've done a great job.
So that's one issue. Oh, yeah. I mean, to me, this is all Garth Ennis. In the second issue, they're trying to get Green Lantern to join.
Yeah.
And he stumbles into him, and Green Lantern's like, "No, I don't want any part of you guys. Like,
this is
we know
just
about
a big
you."
joke by these guys, is it not? I mean, they're just like, "Hey, can we get away with Guts?"
Green Lantern says no. Martian Manhunter wants to be a part of the group.
Oh, of course he
he's
does,
like, I think
weirdo.
He's like, I think we could do things. Hold on, real quick, before we go out and fight crime. Let me go to the bathroom.
The Martian bathroom.
In the bathroom, Bueno Excelente is battling a tapeworm that lived inside of Guts.
Oh, nice.
For Guts's love and affection.
That's great.
But in typical Bueno Excelente form, he is basically just sexually assaulting it into submission.
Okay. Fantastic.
Martian Manhunter walks in on that.
Yeah.
Is completely disturbed and says, "F this, I'm gone." So that's how Martian Manhunter leaves the group.
So, yeah, you don't want to be a part of any group that Martian Manhunter says, "No, screw this."
So, Wonder Woman gets hit on the head, and while she's concussed, she wants to be a member of the group until she's accidentally hit on the head again. And then she's like, never talk to anybody about this ever again.
Wow. So
that's what the whole series is of the Section 8, is them trying to get a legit hero to be a part of the team. 2 of them die, though, by the end of it, one being the Power Tool.
Yeah.
Basically, he tries to turn on his Power Tool while standing in a puddle of alcohol that Six Pack spilled, and it electrocutes him to death. The Grappler's death is even better. He goes to the bathroom, and he's standing at a urinal, and like a problem we've all had, Mike, he doesn't want to get his feet wet, so he decides to shoot the grappling gun up to kind of like suspend himself while he pees.
Right.
In the process, he ends up choking himself, and he dies strangled in front of the urinal.
It's that NXS thing.
Yes.
Sure.
It's a crazy one. All right, let's get into the last part of this, which is our Dogwelder hero story.
All right, cool.
You enjoyed yourself so far?
I have. It's been great so far. Yeah.
So the new story, the newly formed Section 8 that we talked about, Sans, Power Tool, and Grappler.
Yeah.
Basically, they're just hanging out at the bar. Dogwelder's outside by himself, where he runs into John Constantine.
Sure.
If people usually know Constantine, he's a pretty well known.
He's an angel, right?
I don't know if I know he's a demon hunter. I don't think he necessarily himself is, but he has the ability to, like travel. There's a Keanu Reeves movie they made about it. Yeah. There was a TV show that they made about it. Yeah. So Constantine's usually pretty well known, but he tells Dogwelder that basically, hey, did you know that you could use these dead dogs that you have around to talk? You're Dogwelder. Yeah. I don't even want to put you in this. Right. So just think about this. Constantine's telling Dogwelder how he can use dead dogs to communicate.
Sure, right.
If you're writing this, how do you think he does that? Like telepathically, just...
Well, there's 2 things that come to mind. First, the putting the letters on the dogs, or telepathically, I guess, getting the dogs to speak or something, almost like a serial killer kind of thing.
Yeah. No, Constantine shows Dogwelder that he can communicate with dogs by shoving his hand up their ass and using them like puppets.
So it's puppets, sure. Wait, how does that change? Okay. Why don't you just use your hand? and just do the puppet thing.
No, his voice comes out of the dog when he flaps the lips.
I get that, but I'm saying, why does the dog complete the circuit? You know what I mean?
I have no clue.
So shoving your hand up a dog's ass completes the circuit, and now you can talk.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
great.
he basically just uses dead dogs as sock puppets to communicate.
Sure. Okay.
And the voice comes out of the dog, so I assume it sounds human, but maybe there's a hint of like Great Pyrenees or whatever he uses.
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
Great Pyrenees.
He can talk. I mean, there's some giant dogs that he welds to people's faces.
Sure.
It's not just
People
small.
have big faces.
Yeah, people think that, oh, it's just chihuahuas out there. No, some of these are like giant dogs.
Yeah.
So Constantine also tells him, I can do you one better. I can explain all of this to you. Like, you've been missing your family. You can't go hang out. Like, because even though Dogwelder is Dogwelder, there's still a little bit of whatever old life he has there because he constantly misses his family.
Sure, right.
Constantine tells him, I know that you think this has all just been for nothing. I can show you the history of the Dogwelders. So
there's been more than these two.
There have been. So Section 8 and Constantine travel to Egypt.
Right.
Down in the pyramids. They come across all sorts of mummies, dog mummies, regular mummies.
Okay. So, yeah, all right. I get it. Yeah, I see where we're going here.
Dogwelder is then transported away and he to a place of just dog welders.
Sure.
There's statue of all these dog welders. And Mike, there's like anything you could think of any time period. There's a guy in like a World War II outfit with a gas mask on who has one. There's a guy dressed up like maybe who was over in Mongolia with Black Condor at one point in time.
He was a raider.
Exactly. There's just statues all throughout history of all these dog welders.
Wow.
And the previous dog welder tells him, you come from a long line of
dog welders.
And his point is like, well, yeah.
Sure.
But what we do is pointless.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody said it.
Dogwelder himself, he's like, that's nothing. Like, we're just supposed to weld, dogs to people's faces. We find out that the original Dogwelder, let's go ahead and travel way back in time to when they were building these pyramids. The original Dogwelder is part god, part human.
How did they weld back then?
Just fire.
Oh, okay.
I guess. But Osiris is his father, who's a god.
Yeah.
They decide, he and the other Egyptian gods decide they need somebody to watch over the Hades, the afterlife and stuff like that. And if you know Egyptian, I have to give it to them. At least they stuck with their Egyptian, gods and stuff. They have the original Dogwelder basically create Anubis.
Yeah.
Where he takes a dog's head, puts it on God's head, and he's now Anubis, the dog god.
Yeah.
Anubis, extremely pissed off that he has a dog head now, instead of just killing him, decides to punish him and makes him, you will do this for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's all just a curse.
It's all just a curse, basically. People have been welding dogs to people's faces thanks to Anubis for years.
Sure, thanks, Anubis.
So, the story then goes that there's a giant light in the sky, stars Sirius A and Sirius B. The dog stars.
I love those two channels.
Yes. I think they play A stuff on A and B stuff on B usually.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, you get the front side of the album on one, and you get the back side of the album on the other.
Yeah, it just stinks when it's one of the albums that has like a really long song on the B side. So you get like 3 songs, but only one
It's
song
mostly just Smoke on the Water.
Yeah.
All the time.
Or Inagata Devita.
Yeah, Inagata. Well, yeah, that's a whole different
But that's just side A and B.
Sure.
So the stars are getting really close to touching, and if they touch, it could cause a giant explosion and kill the world. Dogwelder finally has purpose, Mike. He realized they're the dog stars. I'm supposed to weld dogs together. I'm supposed to weld the 2 stars together and save Earth.
Yeah.
So they break into NASA.
Okay, hang on. Say that one more time.
They break into NASA.
One more time.
They break into NASA.
Okay.
Basically, like through...
It says breaks into NASA and travels to space.
Because they basically just
Sure.
tie up all the astronauts, put their clothes on.
Because the astronauts are the ones that are in charge.
They're really going to space to try to fix this.
Right.
But Dogwelder knows he can. So
he's got the astronaut suit on. He's got his hand up a dog's ass, and he's pretending to be one of the astronauts to the guys in Houston. You know, Houston, there's no problem here.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
sure. Yeah, that's great.
But basically while they're up there, Dogwelder realizes that to make it work, he has to stay close enough to the stars to weld it. And he eventually sacrifices himself welding the two stars together.
Yeah.
And it does save Earth, but it does kill Dogwelder.
Oh, damn.
So
no, I absolutely see this whole arc where now it was all a curse all the time. So he really wasn't a bad guy.
Yep.
And then he sacrifices himself, of course, welding stars together because that's what you do, to protect the Earth. Wow, that's great. All right.
So he does become a hero at the end.
Kinda.
But that's Dogwelder. Another thing that I want to add in, because it was brought up when James Gunn took over doing the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
People wanted Dogwelder as one of the characters. Because have you seen the trailer for the Suicide Squad yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
James Gunn
Looks
to
great.
me, it does look great.
Yeah.
And what James Gunn's always been good with, and I loved it in Guardians of the Galaxy and a lot of the other stuff he's done,
Right.
especially in this, is he is playing up the ridiculousness more than making it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Which
absolutely
to me works, especially with Suicide Squad. The first one they did, I think, was a little too serious.
It was.
So I think you need it to be. I mean, the fact that you have like Javelin, who's played by Flula Borg, which is hilarious.
I love Flula Borg.
And then like Polka Dot Man's in it, and just so he has the ridiculousness.
A lot of great stuff in it. Yeah.
People wanted Dogwelder.
And I'm
in it.
assuming half of them die.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, which is great.
And that's what I was explaining to. I had the conversation with my wife. I was like, the other one, they made it too serious. And this one, she goes, yeah, but isn't that a lot of characters to deal with? I go, you would think so.
You just kill them off.
They're going to die off.
Yeah, you kill them off, and then you make another one with some weird characters, and you kill them off.
Like you keep, like, Harley Quinn can stay around.
You know the thing I love about James Gunn the most? He's not Zack Snyder.
Do you remember on Guardians of the Galaxy with Taserface? Like, after Michael Rooker's character is... They take over.
Yeah.
His secondhand man.
Oh, that's him?
Is his brother.
Oh, that's cool.
You've seen the trailer. You know the guy who's like the weird like rat guy? It's supposed to be Ratcatcher.
Oh, that's
him.
Oh.
He always makes him do like the weird dressed up characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's always
so
in
it's
it all.
it's like Raimi has a brother also, and he puts him in a lot of stuff like that.
It's the same thing, and it's always cool. But James Gunn mentioned on Twitter that he considered having Dogwelder to be one of the characters in the new Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
But
you don't come out of the gate with that.
He did not feel the character should be expressed cinematically.
No, you don't come out of the gate, welding dogs to people's faces.
Exactly.
You do not come out of the gate with that. Yep.
Well, so my thing is though, I love that did not feel the character should be expressed cinematically.
Sure.
Not we couldn't do it, we shouldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes him James Gunn and not Snyder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, if you scroll down, then Mike, I included some pictures just to show you
These
the
are
original.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And then I had to show you Dogwelder using the other dog to talk. As you can see, he is at least up to his elbow almost.
Yeah, that is fantastic. And the dog still looks happy, so that's nice.
I guess. Yeah. But there you go.
Well, that was great, Zach. Thanks so much.
You. That's Dogwelder. I can tell you, I usually do pretty good teasing what's coming up next.
Yeah.
The next one I have in store for you is another ridiculous one because I find those to be the most fun.
Please give me more.
I'll set you. It's set in the 80s.
Okay.
Right? So go back
I'm excited.
1983 to 84. It's a 12-issue run.
That was my sweet spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then it is I'll explain it to you like this.
That's when I was last a man.
That long ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
What have you been since then?
All
right.
Dogwelder.
I have the apps, the DC Infinite app, and the Marvel Unlimited, so I can read all this stuff.
You're the last guy with the DC Infinity app.
I probably am, but they're like, we really need his $7.99 a month.
Right.
That's what's holding us on.
That's right.
And usually everything's in those places. Marvel does not have it available to read on their website.
Really?
This is something that it was created. I found out after I got halfway through it.
Yeah.
Basically, kind of. Not in line with like it was created for, but there's a connection between the series and a line of toys.
Oh, cool.
That was produced at the same time.
Yeah.
We are talking about a guy who really has, you know what? I'm not going to give it away. I will give away the name just so you know. His name is Ulysses Solomon Archer. I mean, it's an acronym for USA.
Okay.
He goes by US.
Ulysses Solomon Archer. Okay.
And
well, I vow not to look it up
all right,
or do anything with it.
He goes by US, and he's a truck driver, Mike.
That's why I love this show. I don't have to do anything.
No, you don't.
I don't have to do it. It's my favorite show.
I will tell you, I mean, some of the stuff, like this Dogwelder stuff, was just so fun and ridiculous to read
crazy.
through.
That is nutty stuff. Speaking of nutty stuff, I am also using the Testacuzzi again this week for my phone holder. Testacuzzi, you did a great job.
Do you think we could get a Testacuzzi sponsorship?
That's what I'm shooting for. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Yeah. This has been Pros, Foes, and Heroes. We appreciate you giving us a listen, and we promise even more ridiculousness in the future.
I'm looking forward to it.
Stay safe, and thanks for listening.
Golly con!
Pros and Foes and Heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.